Hi, Cade. As you near your end of term as president, can you give us a summary of everything you've worked on during your term?
A summary of everything I worked on. Yes, absolutely. I can try. I was thinking back today, actually, about some of our accomplishments and the difficulties and the progress we've made, and I thought back to, it almost seems like a lifetime away, was when the wildfire started here on campus. And that was really the first challenge that we faced as a student union and as a group of students heading into the new school year, was evacuating hundreds of students off campus, trying to raise money and circulate funds to students. I was in meetings constantly with UBC administration while I was packing my own bags. And that was a real starting point. It really kicked us into gear to some of the projects that we've been able to accomplish. We worked with UBC to circulate nearly over $200,000 worth of funds for students in emergency aid. And the work that we've done this year, there's specific instances as well. We're starting on Monday launching a transportation subsidy to hopefully help out students with affordability and tackling kind of the transit issue here on campus. We've launched some really cool programs with picnic and foods insecurity. One in particular that I'm proud of is the transportation food grocery bus. So once a week we have students being shuttled to more affordable grocery stores to get their groceries and really empower them to buy what they want. One part of the advocacy as well for food security that we've worked on this year is circulating grocery cards, gift cards to students in critical or emergency situations. So part of our advocacy was securing last year $120,000 worth of funding from UBC in partnership with our ongoing funding agreement with Picnic to have gift cards circulated to SV Pro, IPS, our very own student advocate, as well as any other UBC department that sees students up close, so that if they were to go there in an emergency, they can directly support those students. And so that's another project I'm proud of. I mean, aside from these specific projects, I mean, this year has been full of meetings, relationship building, network building, expanding the SUO's presence, especially in Vancouver, and really taking our advocacy towards the tables where decisions are being made. And that has really started as well with getting to know our new president, Bacan, and trying to get in line with his priorities so that we can leverage that moving further. And I think that we've done a really good job this year of expanding our presence, expanding our influence, and getting some really cool things done for students that I'm proud to stand behind.
What is the one thing that you're most proud of to have achieved as president?
Yes. So a couple things come to mind. The first being, like I mentioned, was the wildfire season. That was a crisis. That was an emergency for students, that we had firefighters staying on campus, and the university actually had put forward a delay to start of classes by 2 weeks. They put that on the table because they were uncertain about really how that was going to work. One key advocacy issue that I brought forward was that students are sick of online classes. They're sick of being delayed in their degrees, and we want to start on time. And they ended up responding with a yes. Okay, we're on board. If student union's on board, if you're on board, Cade, then we will start school on time, as well as funnel the money to the students that are unable and provide accommodations for those that can't get to Kelowna, which only turned out to be a handful of students that were impacted long term. But that was a big win in my eyes, is that we got students on campus to our expo within the first month of September. Another key issue that I think that I'm proud to stand behind is, like I mentioned earlier, was the transportation subsidy that's launching on Monday. It's a real way to get money back into students' hands, to want to address everything from parking to the cost of transit, the cost of insurance, gas. If your bike's broken, this will be a fund that you can access. And it's going to be targeted to students with financial need, in addition to us collecting some data so that we can advocate for an expansion of this fund going into the next year.
When you were contesting for elections, you told the Phoenix that you would work on I'm quoting you,
Mhm.
increasing affordability, improving public transit, implementing sustainability as a key pillar of the SUO, and implementing a U-Pass subsidy.
Mhm.
You also said you would get a permanent elected role of an Indigenous student representative on the board of directors. Out of these, you already spoke about transit and affordability, but what all have you been able to achieve, and why were you not able to achieve your other goals?
Mhm. So I will say I did touch a bit on transit, affordability, kind of the groundbreaking efforts that we've put in place with Picnic has provided breakfast every morning to students, community meals to students in need. We've expanded our pantry access, increased the amount of hampers that we give out to students. And that's been a key focus of us because that's what we're hearing from students. The main goal that I had wished to accomplish that I was unable to this year was establishing an Indigenous student rep on our campus and on the board of directors. A variety of factors came into play there, but I underestimated how long it would take to really implement that kind of position here on our board of directors because it has a lot of wide-ranging influences just on all of our policies and bylaws and so on and so on. And so in response to that, we've mandated, I put a motion forward to the board to mandate our policy committee to create a framework to implement this Indigenous student rep in the next AGM next year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, and I will continue working on it so that we have some kind of framework, a basis, a foundation that we can then go and consult with IPS and Indigenous members in our community. So we do that hard work so that next year they can just put it in place and seek student feedback at the AGM.
Sure. And my final question, going forward, what do you think the next SUO president will have to focus on, and what do you think will be the key issue this election?
So that's a good question because it's something that we're constantly trying to look forward to so that we don't get surprised by student issues. One key project that I think is important for us, one that I support fully, is the recreation facility that will be started hopefully this coming year, if not sooner, and ensuring that student voices are represented at that table, and so that this facility is strictly one for students and one where students can have a place to decompress and connect. And I think particular projects like that and ensuring that the voice and the influence that we've built up in these last couple of years that I've been here at the SUO continues. It requires a lot of due diligence in keeping your connections, answering emails, staying on top of everything while you're in school and juggling kind of the responsibilities of being a student. And that's what I want our president, the next president, to focus on is there's a lot of pieces of this role that are unseen to students. There's a lot of meetings that are not seen by students, which is just the nature of a role, of a public service role. And really embracing that is, I think, a key focus that I would hope all future board members and executives will really keep in the back of their minds.